So we're in collar and sleeve. I've went down and I've got the De La Riva hook in. Notice the way my right foot was in Carol's hip, but sometimes before I get the foot in, Carol comes in close. Notice the way this is not very good for me. He's nearly too close to me. My foot's on his hip, but like my knee's nearly in my chest. And notice the way this De La Riva hook, maybe it was strong to start with, it's barely in because it's quite uncomfortable. So another thing we can be doing from here is, if Carol's really close, is I keep my grips and I'll turn onto my side, and that becomes a knee shield. I'm going to go down this avenue if Carol's close, and putting the foot on the hip is difficult for me. So now we're still going to work that overhead, but rather than pulling him above my head, I'm going to pull him more to my right. And I'm looking for a reaction of him to post with his hand on the mat, or I drop him to the knee. If I do the first one and he posts with his hand but stays standing, so that's our first pathway, is I'm doing this and he stays standing. Now I've created that space, I've got my foot on the hip. If Carl tries to get close now, I can push him away and put in the strong De La Riva hook, and then we can just start working our overhead sweeps and all the stuff that we've done before. So that's our first pathway. So again on that. So sometimes in the transition to get into De La Riva, we're here, Carl's come close, and that foot on the hip is not an option. He's that close that I can't even leg press him away. Does that make sense? So I keep my grips and I turn onto my side like a knee shield. Right? And I'm going to pull him this way to off balance, and if he stays standing, now I've got the foot on the hip, I can push, and now I've got my strong De La Riva, and we're back into the whole game a bit there. So that's option one. Option two, from De La Riva, he's close, I've got my knee shield in. Sometimes when you pull on the collar, he'll post with his hand and he might drop till his knees. We end up here. So first thing I'm looking to see is, has he connected his elbow to his hip? If he hasn't, I fill that space with my foot, and back into your whole collar and sleeve again, with foot on the hip, with knee on the outside. Triangle was there, so we controlled the head. Not going into any details on that. Just on that side, so that's our second pathway. So just from De La Riva, he's close, so my knee shield's in, I can't get my foot on the hip. So I'm just pulling with the collar and using my knee shield to stay connected, and if he posts with his hand and actually drops to the knee, and there's space here, I just chop in that foot, that knee shield comes out, finds the shoulder, and then we were straight into our triangle choke. Third pathway is, he's savvy and he knows he wants to put you want to put your foot on the hip, and then we're back into the De La Riva hook and berimbolo there's again. So here, De La Riva's in, he's close, there's my knee shield, so we make that off balance, so I'm pulling to get his hand on the mat, he drops down, but now he pulls in that elbow to the knee, so that pathway is not there for the triangle. Anytime he does that, you'll get a strong De La Riva hook any day of the week. Okay. So now from this position, especially from the knee shield, berimbolo is there, just switch grips. Okay. Kick to put his hip on the mat, and then he switched to the berimbolo grip, and now I'm just inverting like we did before. Okay. So again, from that position, I'm leg pressing. I can find the far leg and pull his leg down. As long as the bottom hook is in, I wing the underhook, and then I occupy the space of my sternum between his shoulder blades. So third pathway. So from De La Riva, he's too close with the knee shield. I've pulled, I've dropped him down to the knee, and then he's connected his elbow to his knee. Anytime he does that, now I can get that strong De La Riva hook in at his hip. Switch to the ankle, as in the last move. Use that knee shield to put him on his hip. Then from there, I just find the belt. Now, I'm not going into details in the berimbolo, we've already covered that. I bring my head in and invert. Now I can find that far leg, bring it down, occupy the space, and grab right there as well, just to completely remove you. So, De La Riva, knee sheaves in, get him down to the knee. Okay, I can't get the triangle, he's occupied that space. I switch to the barambol or the punt grip, but now when I try to get him down to the hip, Car's leaning forward, so I can't hit the barabola. But there's not to stop me going deep with the De La Riva hook. Keep my right hand grip, second foot comes behind. Now it's grab. One more time on that. So a lot of different reactions there. But they all stem from me possibly having a strong De La Riva hook in. Foot was going on the hip and then Carl put weight on me. So I had the collar grip, just that off balance. So as I pull him forward and he drops to the knee and he's occupied that space, but now he's leaning forward so that foot comes in deep. And then we talked about how I still find the collar and just chopping and getting an angle. Loading him onto me, playing the game. For those that maybe have just come tonight for the first time, we'll go back to the first move. So, De La Riva. I wanted the foot on the hip, but now he's come too close. If it's got to the point where I can't leg press him away, I just turn onto my side. Notice the way when I turn onto my side, I don't keep in the De La Riva hook. You can if you do yoga 10 times a day when you're young and fit. But when I bring in that knee shield, that hook comes out. And now from there, I'll just launch him forward. This time Carl posts, but he doesn't drop his knee. Now there's space for me to get my foot on his hip and push him back, which gives me the strong De La Riva hook. And then if you want, you can go back into the last move. I play the pants, spring him forward, and then start to hit and hold for him.